everyone, this is the Cinetroller here, and it's another rant video. And this is a video similar to a video I did a year and a half ago about comic book movie fatigue. And this video answers the question of, am I tired of superhero movies? And, that's the question that this video answers. And there's a lot of things going around about people are tired of comic book movies and superhero movies, like a movie that stars a DC character or a Marvel character or has Marvel or DC. Like people are just sick of it. Like Steven Spielberg compared comic book movies to westerns in the 1950s and 60s. There were westerns everywhere throughout, everywhere. A lot of movies that came out in the 50s and 60s were westerns, and Steven Spielberg compared those to those movies, like superhero movies as a whole. While there are still there are still westerns coming out today. They're not as popular as they were in the 1950s and 1960s. Throughout the decades, there are always going to be an exaggeration of a genre. That's always going to happen. And with my thought on that is, people aren't tired of superhero movies. People are tired of superhero movies that use the same format over and over and over again. Like Marvel, for example, Marvel movies, they have a formula and it works. No negative to the MCU, because there are MCU movies that I love, like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Civil War. Love those movies. So no negative to the MCU, and they have humor and they have a specific style, and yes, James Gunn does put his own flavor in the Guardians movies, and the Russo brothers put their own flavor in the Captain America movies. But other than that, Marvel usually has the same format. A part of what made the MCU a success was making those 4-quadrant movies that are heavily PG-13, but they don't make full use of the PG-13 rating. So most MCU movies, most of them, obviously not Deadpool and Wolverine, and Guardians Galaxy Volume 3 is a lot darker compared to other MCU movies, but most MCU movies, there are some parents out there that will not agree with me on that, but most MCU movies are accessible for preteen, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Like Star Wars, Harry Potter, or those franchises, 4-quadrant. That's what made the MCU successful, and why the DCEU failed. Because when the DCEU was in its early phase, Warner Brothers got in Zack Snyder, who makes movies that are more specific. Zack Snyder makes movies that are designed for dudes, and that are mainly dark action movies, basically. 300 and Man of Steel. And if you want to make money off of a $200 million, $300 million budget, you need to appeal to both male and female, and you need to make something like Zack Snyder has specific, like, I'm not specific style, and that failed to make the DC EU successful. There are a list of other reasons, but a part of what made Marvel successful was making those 4-quadrant movies. And they all have a formula, they fill in check boxes, and that's how the MCU makes money. That's how the MCU is successful. The problem I have is that, like, a lot of superhero movies like Black Adam or Blue Beetle or Thor Love and Thunder, like, even the later DC movies, the recent DCEU movies, part of the leftovers, like I don't resonate with superhero movies where the plot is a really evil man wants to fire a beacon in the sky and our heroes have to stop them, and there's lots of humor in it, and there's lots of green screen and CGI and blah blah blah, and there's like I feel like every character is the same nowadays. The characters don't feel unique because, like, every character has to be like Tony Stark or Deadpool, where they have to crack a one-liner or a joke, or have to crack in a pop culture reference. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, I'm tired of superhero movies where all the characters are the same and they have the same plot over and over and over again. An evil man wants to fire a beacon in the sky and our heroes has to stop him, and there's lots of humor in it. And, like, I have nothing against comedic superhero movies, or, like, I'm not saying there shouldn't be humor and everything has to be dark and edgy like Zack Snyder, but something unique and original would be nice. Like, through this past decade, like, post-Avengers Endgame in 2019, like, I still enjoy superhero movies that come out during this past decade, like The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. Like, The Suicide Squad was a phenomenal movie. Love that movie. And Matt Reeves' The Batman, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, enjoyed that. Love that movie. And with TV shows, like, I've been really enjoying The Penguin. That was a great show because it's something new and original for the superhero genre. It's a crime drama and not CGI green screen and fighting and action and all that. It's more of a crime drama, which is why I enjoy The Penguin a lot, and it feels original and unique. And I really enjoyed Peacemaker, and because the character is fleshed out and interesting, and it's a more comedic show. Like, it has James Gunn's style of humor with, like, it is dick and fart jokey, but I love Peacemaker. I love that show. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm not sick and tired of comic book movies, and, like, I'm sick and tired of comic book movies that use the same formula over and over and over again, to have the same tone over and over and over again. And, like, it's chicken for dinner over and over and over again, sure, but it's with the same seasoning. I'm not tired of chicken for dinner, I'm tired of the seasoning. That's the metaphor that I'm bringing up. And the box office results of comic book movies in recent years, like, Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Across the Spider-Verse Those other two movies made money, not $1 billion, but they made money. And that's the case for a lot of other people, because if everyone's just tired of superhero movies, then no one would have went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and The Boys wouldn't be that popular, or Invincible. Like, the point is that I'm not tired of comic book movies. I'm tired of same old type comic book movies with the same formula over and over again. Like, the ones that I'm getting into are like the Batman, or the Matt Reeves the Batman, or the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, and I'm looking forward to James Gunn's new DCU and new DC and all that, because I watched interviews with James Gunn, and he's doing something original with the whole superhero universe, and he's doing something new with the genre, and I can respect that. And that's winning me over to DC. That's how DC, like, I would not be excited about DC right now, or I would be sick of superhero movies if James Gunn hasn't taken over DC, because I'm sorry to piss off some Snyder cultists out there, but like, James Gunn is the reason why I'm not tired of superhero movies. I'm not sick of them yet. And he's a part of the reason why I'm not sick of them yet. And I'm more mainly sick of the same formula over and over and over again. And that's the case for a lot of other people. So, I'm not tired of chicken for dinner, but I am sick of the same seasoning over and over and over again. So, this is the Cinetroller signing out. Have a good one. Goodbye.